Hello, everyone. Have you ever been perfectly fine until one small sentence made you see your entire life differently? Not because the sentence was cruel, not because the person meant to hurt you, and not because even in that single moment you suddenly saw something about yourself that you had been trying not to see. And what you saw was painful. There's a Czech word for this, for this feeling, and the word is Litost. Let me tell you a story to, to make you understand in a better way. There was a woman named Mira. Mira was known as a strong one in her family. Whenever anyone had a problem, they called her. If someone was sick, Mira was there. If someone needed advice, Mira listened. If there was a family function, Mira arranged everything. People often told her, Mira, we don't know what we would have done without you. And she would smile whenever she heard those things. But deep inside, she sometimes wondered, does anyone know what I actually need? Still, she never asked. She had learned to hide her tiredness so beautifully that even she had stopped noticing it. One evening, Mira attended the birthday celebration of her younger sister, Nena. The house was full of laughter. There were flowers, music, photographs, and people sharing stories. Everybody was so happy. During dinner, someone asked Nena, what is the best thing that has happened to you this year? And Nana looked at her husband, would be husband, and smiled. She said, for the first time in my life, I feel that someone truly takes care of me. I don't always have to be strong. And everybody smiled. Mira smiled too. But suddenly, something inside her became very still. The noise around her seemed to disappear. She looked at her sister's face. She saw how peaceful she looked, how safe she looked, how deeply loved she looked. And in that moment, Mira did not feel jealous of her sister. No. She did not even want to take away any happiness from her. Instead, her sister's happiness became a mirror. And in that mirror, Mira suddenly saw her own life. She saw how long she had been carrying, arranging, doing everything for everyone. She saw how rarely anyone asked whether she was okay. She saw how she had turned strength into prison. She had spent years saying, I can manage, I can do things, I don't need anything, I don't worry about anything. Nobody needs to be worried about me. But for the first time she realized that perhaps she had been saving these things because she was afraid no one would come even if she asked. Mira excused herself and went to the bathroom. She locked the door, she looked into the mirror, and tears began falling from her eyes. She did not fully understand why she was crying. Her sister had said nothing hurtful, no one had insulted her, nothing terrible had happened. Yet something inside her had broken open. It was not ordinary sadness, by the way. It was not jealousy even. And it was not simply loneliness. It was the torment of suddenly seeing her own misery reflected in someone else's words. That feeling is Litost. It's a Czech word that is difficult to translate into one English word. It describes the pain we feel when something suddenly makes us aware of our own unhappiness, weakness, failure, or wounded condition for that matter. Sometimes another person's success reveals how disappointed we are with our own life. Sometimes a happy couple reminds us how lonely we have become. Sometimes someone's confidence makes us realize how much of ourselves we have been hiding. Sometimes an innocent sentence touches a wound that we did not even know, which was there alive inside us. And that is why Litost can feel so intense. The other person may not have done anything wrong, The pain comes from what their words or their lives suddenly reveal to us about ourselves. Mira washed her face. She stood there quietly. At first she felt ashamed. She thought, why can't I just be happy for my sister? But then she realized something important. She was happy for her sister. Her tears were not against Naina's happiness. Her tears were asking a question about her own life. When did I stop allowing myself to be cared for? That night, Mira did something she had not done for years. She called her closest friend and said, I don't need any advice today. I just need someone to listen to me. There was silence on the other end. Then her friend said, I'm here. Mira cried again. But this time the tears were very different. At first the tears came from painful recognition. The second tears came from relief. Litost has shown her a truth she could no longer ignore. And although the truth was painful, it also became the beginning of healing. Sometimes emotions do not come to punish us. They come to reveal us. Litost may feel like a sudden fall into sadness, but sudden inside, it is a message. It asks, what pain have you been pretending not to feel? What truth about your own life are you avoiding? What did the moment reveal about yourself? So the next time someone's words or happiness suddenly make you feel deeply miserable, pause before judging yourself. You may not be jealous. You may not even be ungrateful. You may simply be experiencing Litost. The painful moment when someone else's life becomes a mirror and you suddenly see your own suffering reflected back to you. And perhaps that painful reflection is not the end. Perhaps it is the first honest step towards changing your life. This is Litost, a Czech word, a deeply human emotion, and a feeling many of us have experienced even if we never knew its name. If this story reminded you of a moment from your own life, write the word mirror in the comment and follow this emotional vocabulary learning series where we give names to the feelings we have always experienced but could never fully explain. Come back again. Thank you.